Good morning, good morning. So, this is part 2 of my life. And this is just waking up, right? Nice views, man. Nice views. Try and wake up, slam some multivitamins, slam some water. You can see, like, I've got a nice shirt on for once. I've literally just woke up, so I thought I'd keep it like as raw as possible, right? So yeah, let's slam some liquid. I thought I'd put my shirt on from yesterday to keep it a bit more PG. So yeah, time to get the water in, and what vitamins? I've got loads of vitamins. So I'm going to take my zinc ting and B12 ting because I need to get fit and healthy again, right? And my DMs is helping me make sure I keep on track with my vitamins. And then with that, I'm also gonna put some creatine in because it's good for your brain. Also helps with recovery and whatnot in the gym, but for me it's about keeping my brain nice and strong because I don't have a good one, unfortunately. I have some memory issues, so I'm very forgetful and it's very frustrating. So that's why I try and do everything, like if someone messages me or whatever, I try and get it done there and then, otherwise I will forget and it's embarrassing, you know. I live with it my whole life, you know. So yeah, let's mix all this together, shall we? So whilst that's mixing, have a quick look at the charts, shall we? I wouldn't usually look at the charts this time, but I know last night the markets did a big move, so I'm looking at the Dow Jones, YM for futures traders, and it had a big expansion, right? So I'm just looking to catch the retrace of that. So nothing super technical about this one, but just anticipation for a pullback. And with that, I can just have a nice big stop and just go for a 2 to 3 RR, depending on the trades. So let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look. Yeah, we can see this was the previous high up here. We've made some new highs up here. You can see it's just been straight up. No market's ever moved straight up, so I'm just going to enter a trade and then like a 100-point stop, maybe more, going for a 200-300 point TP towards this area, right? So yeah, that's I think I already put it on my other account. So let's have a look at my MetaTrader. Yes, I'm already in on this one. Yeah, you might not be able to see it so well. Yeah, I'm in up here. My stop's a million miles away up here, and that's what? How many points? 170 points away, thereabouts. I'm going for about a 300 point TP. So you can see I actually caught a trade down here. If I hoodled to my actual TP, it would have hit. It's one of them, you know, I'll just take what the market can give. So you might find it might come up a little bit more, which is fine, and then it will do the move. So just trying to be in a trade, give it lots of room, and yeah, just let it do what it needs to do. And if it stops me out, it stops me out. You can always get back in. Okay, so part 2 then. When I finished off, I was just leaving Australia to Vietnam, right? So when I was going to Vietnam, I just secured 100k funding from FTMO. And like I said, I wasn't advertised funding. I looked for funding because I had enough money to live on, but I didn't have enough money to live on and trade personal capital. So I had to figure out how I could fund my living and fund my trading. So I just Googled, as usual, you always find it. Anything in life I have an issue with, Google. It's an amazing thing, right? Who would have thought? I Googled how to get investors, and FTMO came up, right? And I was like, this sounds wild. This sounds so easy. At the time, I was very naive about trading. You know, I was thinking, wow, I can get like a 100k account for $1,000 or whatever it was at the time. It was really expensive back then. And I believed in myself a lot more then than I do now, but it's because I was new to markets, and I was new to, well, I wasn't aware of different market conditions. So I had been building this edge over a certain condition in the market, which was just up mode. Like it was easy because you just buy and it would go, and there was not really any logic behind it apart from, push a buy button and it goes. And lo and behold, when you go through different market cycles, you understand that that's not how markets work. And, that's a time game thing. You only learn that through time, unfortunately. And at the time, I wasn't equipped with the experience of time. I was equipped with the experience of naivety. And I managed to pass it because, 10%, I'll make that in a day. Because I was thinking in my personal account. But the reality is I was just taking crazy risks. And I just, I think I burned one account and then got one of the account over the line. Touched down in Vietnam and I was like, whoa, life's about to be incredible. And then COVID happened. So when COVID initially happened, I was trading gold at the time. And when you're trading gold in COVID, the spreads went from quite literally 0 to 20, 30 points, So the asset that I used to be most confident on all of a sudden became untradeable. So then I had to pivot to things like pound yen and pound USD because I was introduced to the trading world through the Forex world. I wasn't aware of equities or even what the hell they were until the latter point of my trading journey. So went through this kind of spiral of losing because I was trading newer markets, new market environment, very volatile environment, and it's one of them where you don't learn it until you feel it, unfortunately. And then I had to put the tail between my legs and fly back home, and I managed to then get a job in a COVID centre, and that was all right, but when you go from living a nice life to then having to do stuff like that, it's not great. I was doing things in Vietnam. I was tasting like the life of being a trader that travelled, right? So I had to lock in. So and then I found the funded trader, and my friends that I was talking to on Instagram were talking about them, so I thought, I'll give them a go. And I became very active in the community because the product at the time, so this is when it first came out, this is when it was a small company, the product was just the best on the market, in terms of drawdown, pricing, profit targets, community. The community at the start was incredible. It wasn't like anything like it was when it got really big. I was there when it was very, very small. And there was no one active in the community trying to, push affiliates. As in, I would help people out in the Discord or help people set up accounts, and then in return I'd say, just use my code, use my link, etc. And that's the first time I kind of got introduced to affiliate marketing? Yeah, let's say affiliate marketing. But for me it was just, I wanted to help people sign up to the funded trader because it was the best product on the market, and I wanted everyone else to feel what I feel, right? So everything I do is to help others feel good, because I know what it's like to feel like trash. Most of my life has felt like trash, unfortunately. But I pushed through it, I pushed through it. And I wanted others to be successful with this company because it was doing what other companies couldn't do. And as they managed to scale massively, that kind of business model wasn't quite effective, and they are where they are now, unfortunately. But anyone from the old days of when the funded trader kind of was in its first year of operations, or less so probably, you'll know me. You know exactly who I am, because I was that guy trading in Thailand. Because once I got all this kind of done with the affiliate marketing, and I was earning payouts, I was all of a sudden going from minimum wage to 10, 20, 30k a month. Like, I was like, oh my god, like my life, it's back. This, but it's bigger and it's better and it's more full force. So I flew to Thailand, and I'm in Thailand. There's so many stories from Thailand. I was living in Phuket, and I got the COVID visa, and so it was the perfect time for lower cost of living, lower rents, and I moved to a nomad area. So this is my first kind of real experience of being a trader, traveling and meeting other people doing different things and other traders. It was incredible. And then, unfortunately, I put all my money in things like Luna and FTX. And if you aren't aware of what they are, just have a quick Google. It's not fun. So essentially, I lost all of my money. I did have a little bit left. It was like a safety net, but the safety net wasn't big enough, unfortunately. And then you have to go through this period of shame, right? Because people looked up to me, people saw what I was doing, and then all of a sudden, I can't get a grip on anything. I'm too anxious when I'm trading because I want to maintain this lifestyle. I don't have the money to fall back on anymore, and then you just go through this spiral, and it's uncontrollable, and you're trying your best to just not sink, but all you're doing is sinking. And then all of a sudden you're there from this dream life, earning a dream income, to red. I'm in the red. So I had to call home, fly back home, live with family. And, they don't understand what I do. Anytime I try and explain to them what trading is and what I want to do, it's met with, when are you going to get a real job? When are you going to, do something here? They don't understand it, right? And it's okay. Most people that pursue a career in not just trading, but in trading in specific, because it's my experience, you'll find, your parents are coming from a place of love, but it doesn't feel like love, and it's hard, because then your dream is something different to what your lineage has been before. You're trying to break the mold. You're trying to, do something different with life, because it's big. Life is big if you make it big. And it took me, after that point, coming back to the UK, it took me almost a year to find a job. And I was trying so hard. This was just after kind of COVID had kind of settled. But I couldn't find anything. For the life of me, I couldn't find a job anywhere. I was living in a rural village in the UK, so there wasn't much opportunities, but I couldn't get or find anything, and I'm trying my best to find a job, and it's just this shame bell ringing relentlessly. My parents what? Why are you just sat in your room all day? Why, and I'm trying to get to grips of, losing everything, trying to find a job, and, trying to just keep my life together. Mentally, it's unbearable. I feel like not just letting myself down, but letting all the people that followed me on social media down, So, eventually, after a year of searching, I found a job. And I think it was a cold email someone sent out, about being a driver in a van. So yeah, I worked in a van for a year, and then I spent 6 months. During this time, I wasn't looking at trading because it was destroying my life. Right, I didn't want to destroy it anymore. It was already pretty bad. Mentally, I was clocked out. I didn't want to do it anymore. Anything in life, I didn't want to do it. I was out for the count. So yeah, I spent 6 months in the van, just finally earning some money again. Even though it wasn't much at all, but it was something, right? And then I got back into trading, trying to find my way again, find my edge. And slowly but surely, I found that edge, and it was making some tough decisions to get there, but I got there. And then I finally managed to isolate that trading and what I was doing to get to that trading style edge moment. And then once I had accumulated enough fun coupons, I was able to move back out here. And then Yeah, that's it. That's how I wanted to trade it. So now you're witnessing the rebirth, the Phoenix moment, right? And hopefully there's more bigger and better things ahead of me. And I'm sure there will be. And yeah, and looking forward to pushing it as hard as I can and helping everyone I can along the way on the big sphere of the interwebs. So I'm going to call it a day there, and plenty of stories to be told. So have a majestic and magical day if this is your morning, and if this is your evening, have a beautiful night's sleep. Peace and love.